The following views and opinions are not those of the BET Cooperative Credit Union Limited or any of their affiliates. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Making Dollars from Cents. And this is brought to you by BET Cooperative Credit Union Limited. I am your host, Shanelle Estwick, and my co-host for this season is Lisa Neblett. Lisa, how are you?
I am doing well, Shanelle. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic and absolutely excited for starting this podcast, Making Dollars from Cents. And I know that a lot of you out there are like, oh my God, not another podcast. And we're here to say, yes, another podcast.
But with a difference.
Yes, but definitely with a difference. And then, why Making Dollars from Cents? So, I was just going to say that, well, as females in our 30s, we had some instances. We're still going through financial ups and downs, trying to make the best decisions with or without guidance. And myself and Lisa, we are just here to share some of our experiences and educate some of our peers how to make thoughtful, well-informed decisions when it comes to earning, spending, and saving money.
That is so right. And we're changing the narrative as we go along. Financial literacy is super, super important because it equips us with the knowledge and skills to manage money effectively. Knowing about financial instruments, interest rates, how financial institutions work, will not only give our generation the confidence in managing their money, it will climax the financial freedom and the comfort that all of us want.
Of course, and everybody wants to be financially free and comfortable, like be able to buy what you want to buy, do what you want to do. So what we can do is just get right into this first episode, and we can start at analyzing financial institutions. And the two main financial institutions are the credit unions and the banks. Straight up. Like everybody, I find that some people know the difference and some people don't know the difference. Some people don't even know there is a difference in credit unions. So, like for me, I know as an employee of a credit union, I know that credit unions are not-for-profit financial institutions. Our main aim is not just to make money. That's not it. To the point that we don't even call it profit, we call it surplus, right? And it is more of a financial cooperative more than an institution, because our main aim is to help our members, because most of our members actually have like a shared bond. So you will realize that, like for instance, BET, initially when we started off, it was employees and their immediate families who started the credit union, right? And same goes for Light Power and the other
banks.
And the other credit unions. Yes. But the bank,
Bank Limited, right, there we go.
Do you know the bank's a little different?
I come in there just now with that one.
You know the bank's a little different. You know the bank, because we talk about membership and the banks talk about customers.
Yeah,
And they know that to an extent, I know you are a credit union member, but I know that you're a bank girl.
Yes, because you see, I'm a business girl, so I like things to move fast.
No. Well, I would say that the credit unions getting there. Like definitely, I would say that we getting there. We getting there slowly but surely, and I think that slow and steady is always been the race. That's how I feel. I also want to point out that one of the main things about a credit union is that the member is technically the owner. Like,
It is true.
the member is the owner. So really and truly, I technically work for the member. Like in the grand scheme of the organizational chart, the member comes first, right at the top. Then we got the three main committees that split, which is like the board, the supervisory committee, credit committee, and then the staff and the general manager. We technically are the bottom of this food chain. Wow. The member is really and truly who runs stuff. And I find that there is nothing more empowering than knowing that you can make, or you have the ability to have an input on how an organization that your money is in, or that and that you belong to, that you have an input in that. That's how I feel.
I understand. But yes, with the banks, they have investors, and they're going to always look to find ways from the customer. And sometimes they don't mind being a customer, to make money for themselves. So in saying that, banks have the investors, and they have they're going to have the interest rates and other things like that as well. But we pay those interest rates so we can have a little bit of convenience. And I think right now with everything moving, as you said, moving a little bit faster, that's where we're at with the banks. So the investors, we just leave everything to them, and then we just filter all in.
But I'm glad that you say interest rates. What interest rates the bank paying now? No, since we talking interest rates. What interest rates are the banks paying? Because really and truly, in this time, people want their money to work for them. And people want to be able to say, well, look, if I deposit $1,000 today, at least I know that within 3 months' time, that I can get some form of interest.
That is a thing about it. So I gotta switch it for you. As a business person, as I said, you want to move the money quickly. So nothing isn't gonna. I'm gonna be honest. You don't get that much interest on a when you're saving with the bank. But as I said, the mere fact I can do the transaction, get it, and you're not gonna just pass it over to you.
Well, yeah, but do you not want to be the go-to institution, especially for, all right, I give you this. In terms of accessibility, right? I would say definitely as a young female, like my funds are accessible. Like if I want to purchase something online, like I could literally go to my mobile app, transfer funds to somebody else, and like have it and I just wait for it to be delivered. And that's fine. But I find that accessibility also causes me to spend money that
But that's the thing. You have to be disciplined, my love. You can't just be... That is the thing. I can say to you safely, okay, fine, with credit unions, you really don't have that accessibility to your funds, which is a good thing, because then you're saving with responsibility. Whereas with my good old investors behind the bank, they're going to make sure you spend it. So, yes, we're going to get the credit cards, and yes, we're going to get the mobile apps, which make the transaction a little bit quicker so you get what you want. So, you see, he's got to kind of weigh the odds.
Then, and then another thing about banks, I don't want to say that I can't take. I like that the credit union is keep it real simple, right? We got savings, we got investments, we got loans. 3 things, nothing more. I don't need to have over 50s and retirement saving plans are fine, but I find that sometimes there are too many saving plans sometimes that could kind of confuse you. Because sometimes you open an account. So now the account got to be a checking account or just a direct debit, because then if it's a savings, the bank's charging you
it's a bit
like
different.
$10
Yes, it
if it drop. No, we don't charge that credit union.
I know. And yeah, but as I said, you have investors behind the scene to make sure that ship is keeping rolling. So in order to get that bread, butter, honey, you got to do something.
No, but you see, that's why the credit union keep the members is what keep it rolling. So for me as a young person, I like that I come in here credit union. I got 2 saving accounts. I got shares. I got deposits. So for me, my shares is almost like investing in the credit union. That at the end of every financial year, when there's a surplus, I could get dividends, and it can allow me to qualify for any loans that I want in the future. I like my deposits because that I get my interest on a quarterly basis. However, if I gotta do any withdrawals or anything, so that's where I pull it from. That's where I know I'm pulling it from. If I want a long-term investment, I will get a fixed deposit. And right now, how the market is, most fixed deposits are 6 months to a year. And I know, well, look, I could calculate XYZ, and I know if I start at $1,000, that some fixed deposits start at $500, but here at BT is $1,000. So I start with $1,000, right?
Yeah.
And I know that, look, within 6 months' time, my interest can be XYZ, right? And the next, a loan. I know what type of loan I want. It's either a mortgage, a vehicle, or a personal loan. and that's it. It it is as simple as 1, 2, 3. Nothing to confuse you. The interest rates sometimes don't always be the best. But however, but the simplicity in it, the simplicity of even applying for a loan is like, hey, you have your money here, you qualify for the loan, good to go.
Understood.
But I find that the banks is one.
It's a little bit more technical because, as I said, it's a difference where you have the bottom up or top down. And as I said before, people have to find ways to keep, because remember, banks are branded internationally. So they have to keep a brand out there. Where you would find in Barbados, we have 4 main banks here, where you have different credit unions in the communities.
Well, yes, I give you that one. You that one because the brand has to stretch across like an international market.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a global thing.
So you have to find ways. The persons behind the scenes still have to find ways to ensure that they keep that brand, they keep that standard, they keep all of these different things. And again, moving along with how the world is turning. I want to still stick on that point.
No, well, that's okay, but. No, you say, if we're talking about global, I want to use Trinidad as a classic example, right? I find that any institution that they have, whether it be financial, whatever, it reflects the kind of lifestyle that they live. So like for Carnival, it's Carnival in the banks too. So explain to me why that can't be reflected here in Barbados as well. Because obviously what another bank may do internationally, like we can't just continue to always follow. So sometimes you go with the culture of the country that you're going.
The culture is a big thing.
Right, exactly. And I find that sometimes, like you would find 1 or 2 banks kind of like leaning towards that, but other than that, sometimes they don't. And even like that's why for me it's always the credit union. Always, I find that we are with the culture. Like credit unions even offer like extended services like medical insurance because we have medical insurance. There are some people who never thought about getting medical insurance until they realize that their credit union offered it. There are people who have discount cards. Like you could get discount off of pork at the pig farmers.
We can get
for those who eat pork, of course.
We can get reward points too,
which is fine. But then the reward points are attached to credit cards, which in essence then is putting me in debt.
But it's always about strategy too as well too when it comes to your credit cards. If you know you are a spender, then you have to, again, your money always have to come with responsibility and discipline. If you know you're a spender, therefore, yes, the interest rates will eat you up at the end of the month for your credit card. But you have to be able to pay before the deadlines, and that's the thing where it comes into structure. So if you pay before your deadlines, then you more likely will have all of the interest rates to deal with. And also, let me say something as well. With the security part of it, let's go there. The security part of it, where everything now is on the internet. At least you know there's a cutoff point of what persons can be accessible or access to when it comes to your money. So when you have a card that is attached to, yes, they do have Visa debit cards, but when you have an account that is accessible to your account, persons can easily track, they can easily hack you and take every cent you get. But unlike with the bank, however, as I said, using the credit card, because the investors or some person decide, you know what, let's find a way to help people spend money. And not only spend money on clothes and shoes and, for us ladies, the hair.
And bags.
Yeah, let me get that too. But building your business as well too. We always need that line of credit. And yes, I know the credit union. I know, don't look at me now. I know the credit union are there for building the community as well, but the banks too. The banks help you with your homes, banks help you with your cars as well too. And yes, some people will smartly say, oh, well, they don't help me with my business or what's not, but I guarantee you, every single man, I can tell any person this, when I was first starting my business, my first consultant came from the bank. And he was the one who guided me on what to do, the forms to complete, and basically step by step. And when you are able to, when they ask for certain information, it makes you think more as a business person on where you want to see your cash flow. So it gives you, again, a more structured, the different way of thinking is a whole different ball game.
You mean that one?
I know, snatch me now, snatch me.
But I still got my receipts, you know. No, that I glad that you mentioned this Visa debit thing, right? So you know, like most of the financial institutions now that have ATM cards, they are switching over to Visa debit since CARS has left the Caribbean. And I happen to butt up on some fees, right? That I saw in the newspaper from a certain commercial bank. And so I got receipts, right? First thing first, it is something like $1.25 if you use it, right? At a terminal that's not theirs. And then if you use it as a credit card, I think it's like free, right? And also, but no, this is a card that's attached to your account. So understand that if you take off cash from your account from an ATM, you are being charged a cash advance fee. And I think that that's the height of madness. That is my personal opinion. So I credit union now. I know there are some credit unions that have Visa debits and stuff attached, but not here. If you want to get your money, just call and your money can be transferred directly to your account.
Wonderful.
As simple as that. There's definitely no large major cash advance fee attached.
So my question is to you. How does the security guards that clear the machines get paid? Who maintains, who or how do you get it done in regards to maintaining the ATM machines? Security, again, going back at that for the same ATM machines and to make sure that all the networks are online and work efficiently. How do banks get that done?
I want to tell you, Madame Neblett, that as a young person in my 30s, looking to me as the Beijing will say, I look at the make sense for myself, right? I understand that things function like that. People need to be paid, but let me be honest. Do you care about that? Like no. Let me call let me call a spade a spade. When I say, do you care about that? A part of your financial freedom and going towards financial comfort, is that something that is top of mind for you? That's what I'm saying. That's why for me, the credit union is for me. I like the fact that I am the person that could elect people that manage the credit union. I am the person, I could actually run and sit on the board of the credit union. And I like the fact that I can get yearly dividends. So I could get higher saving rates and lower loan rates. And we all know that the credit union is definitely do a good job at offering higher saving rates. So stick up in. So that's what it was saying. That is the reason that young people should join credit union. That's watch your money grow here. Watch your money grow here. We are not going to take off any fees if your account drop below a certain. Wait, banks is even charging for your own bank statement.
I am not even going to dispute that. I mean, pick up my paper and ink, you understand? But
no,
probably not at $5 per page. But I'm just saying. But the thing is, get back to the nitty gritty. For me, as a young person, as I said, and you were speaking about the fees and going to the ATM. Now, first thing first, with the mobile app and running a business of my own, I always ask persons already transacting business, do you have the mobile app? And they would say, yes. I said, okay, good. So that limits me even having to go to an ATM. That's one. Two, a plan ahead. So, especially in these unprecedented times, you really got to be on the ball when it comes to your money. You can't sit down and be, oh shoot, today I have to do this. No. You have to literally plan ahead. And I always tell people, get your mindset there, especially in these times now. I mean, we are going through right now a pandemic. We went through Ash. You went through Elsa. And for those who will be hearing this podcast, they know what Elsa is a Category 1 hurricane. So we've been through all of these things. So you have to, as a business person, sit down and plan how you're going to filter your money to ensure that it circulates through the current of the highs and lows to get it to the saving point. So for me, I'm going to say, listen, the bank, lovely institution because they're going to look at everything as a profit. That's the key thing. And then going back to what you were saying before, how the credit union operates on. We operating on a profit. So everything for us is to make money. So you're making money, and then yes, of course, you're going to trickle all over to the BET credit union and to save it to see it.
Well,
so it's basically the water. You know this, right? Really water that making the seed grow. This so you know this.
Oh no, well no, yes, you mentioned the water. We can get to the Blessed Circle talk, but that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a whole nother episode. However, I will agree with you to the extent that something you mentioned something earlier about when you first started your business, that it was some person from the bank that actually give you a list of things that you should have and stuff like that.
Correct.
Which made you actually think.
And that was by opening the actual account.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, but what I will say is that, Lisa, everybody is not you. Because I would say that you pretty much got your ducks in a row sometimes, right?
Yes, I mean, I'm perfect.
But there are some people who want a process that is so much simpler. That's how I see it.
Understood.
Sometimes we don't want that. What's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes the bank don't really give you the service that you want. Sometimes it don't be friendly. It don't be familiar. It's almost like I would go about to say it. Sometimes it's just be like use a customer, use a next person, right? And I find that with any credit union, you don't get that. Here, you definitely don't get it.
Oh, say that.
Right.
I know it exactly.
Here. At BT, you don't get that. You understand?
Okay.
It's almost like you treated like family. That's the thing. Because even joining the credit union, even the process itself is so much simpler and it takes less time. Like, I went into a financial institution to open an account because their mobile services are fantastic. Yes, I just said that. But the process took me
It's going to take a while.
an hour and a half.
Because again, too, you have to go through all of the paperwork.
No,
the
I
documentation.
agree with due
Making sure
diligence.
the network is you get everything compiled because you don't want me coming back to you and ask you any questions. So yes, it takes a while.
No, I agree. I agree with doing your due diligence, but I don't think the process of opening an account where you just need certain literally my ID and stuff like that, my proof of address should take an hour and a half. When you walk through the door in a BT, unless you do not have your application form, that is the longest process. If you have not have it, if you did not fill it out, that in itself is the longest process. Because if you fill out your application form, you have your ID, your two forms of ID, which is either your passport, your driver's license, or your Barbados ID. And you can't bring a Barbados ID that look a pack of carrots. It has to be. It has to be. No, seriously.
I know.
They don't accept those anymore.
Okay.
Not that they don't accept those anymore because it can be easily tampered with. So that's why they're changing the ID cards. But anyhow, that's another story too. But two forms of ID. Bring your passport can be expired, your driver's license can be expired.
Understand.
You bring a proof of address. If you don't got no bills that come at you, bring a bill that belongs to your mother. Fill out the form in lieu of, get your mommy sign and say, yes, John Brown live here. You understand?
Understood.
$5 membership fee. You know it's $5 membership fee. And $120 to open the account. As simple as 1, 2, 3.
Well,
But and that process takes about 10, 15 minutes. The only time the process goes past that day is if you already belong to a credit union. So we have to notify the other credit union that you want to join. And that is the only thing that lengthens the process. But outside of that, it's be as simple as that. And I don't see why it should take an hour and a half to me to open a bank account.
I understand that part, but there's every curse is always a blessing. And due to Corona, we don't have all. I'm sorry, and that, again, let me just explain to my folks out there because they may think, wait, Corona? She mean a bear? No,
not a bear.
Due to this pandemic, let me just make sure my English is correct. You can actually apply online though, and to open an account, and then someone actually contacts you. And then you're able to do your transactions from there. So, and I mean, even if you are so much as getting married, you have bridal registries, and you're talking about having an account, but again, having transactions that you can use your checkbooks, do direct banking, it makes life so much simpler. So yes, you may have the saving component, but again, I am the water that's going to make the seed grow. How about that? And I'm sticking on it.
Well, we will say then that we agree to disagree. Because for me, I believe that the credit union is the place for my money. That's me. I don't have a problem with having my funds accessible to me, but let me just say that then we should strike a balance.
Yeah.
Like, if it is that you have funds, if you get paid through a bank account, then I would say save first.
10% of your salary. Agreed.
Well,
depends on how much you make.
Depends on how much you make.
And the amount of expenses you have as well too.
Exactly.
Put aside a little something for yourself.
Yeah. And if you got kids, put aside something for your children.
Oh yeah.
Like, especially for kids. Oh, and by the way, it's only $5 for kids to join BT Credit Union. Especially if you're already a member.
And again, using our English, children, because sometimes people would say, and I had this here in my life before, only creature on this earth that have kids are goats. So
children. Sorry, children. Yes, yes. It's 2021, and everybody is gender fluid, and
just making sure.
I just have to make sure that I am politically correct.
Right.
So I'm almost showing my age because I said kids. But yes, children. Like for children, it's only $5. Especially if you are already a member of BT. But I find that people think that saving has to be $100 or $200 or whatever. No. If you could afford $20 a month, to me, save the $20 a month.
Agreed.
As simple as that. Also, like, I will also, to say spend less sound easy,
but in these times,
ain't not easy because everything going up.
Yep.
But you will have to see where you're spending. Because what I will tell you, when they shut down, I could not do any makeup. So, like, for those out there who don't know, I have a...
Oh, you maybe went on curfew, full curfew.
Yes, we are full lockdown. I have my own business. It's called I Heart Makeup. So, obviously, we could not do makeup during lockdown. And you have to figure out, in that time I had to figure out, look, I have to spend less money because then that's a lull in my income. So little things like changing the internet package that I had. So it took a little longer for me to load my Netflix.
Okay.
But I get accustomed to it. You understand?
I understand.
So sometimes just like looking at where you put your money really helps. So in terms of quote unquote spending less.
I understand, but in regards to transactions, in the middle of the curfew, I was still working. I have an online business. And I was still making orders, paying for orders as well, transactions in regards to customers, because again, you don't really want to have the whole money touching thing going on. So what we did is persons again use wire transferring money from the different banks and what's not, and that's how we actually kept everything moving. So again, so you see, that's how the water river is actually continuing as we go. But as I said, but agreeing with you, even in those times, it's still good to know you had your money being able to save in a place you know you would get your interest off of.
Especially in unprecedented times. But I think it's safe to say again that it's coming from me, so you would know how hard I go when it comes to the credit union, putting your money in credit union. But in hearing Lisa's points, I really have to say that you definitely got to strike a balance, because for her, having a small business and being able to receive payments and to send payments to her suppliers via online banking, and actually there's a mobile app that you can actually do wire transfers for some financial institutions, for some banks. I'm not saying financial institutions, for some banks, you can actually do wire transfers. So if you have overseas suppliers, you can actually pay them and stuff. So it's safe to say you can have both. You can have both. You can have both, but it is what you said, with accessibility comes responsibility
and discipline. Yes.
And definitely that. But I would say that I think that we would have given some of the folks out there a better look at the credit unions. Understand that all credit unions is not, they are a credit union, but they're different credit unions. Sometimes they share a geographical location. Sometimes, like BET, it used to be their employees and their
immediate family.
But now we're open to the public, so anybody could join. And churches actually have credit unions as well. So they come under one body. There is a bond almost, but each and every credit union has their own governing bylaws and their own policies and stuff like that. So we are different in how we operate, but in terms of being together in a bond and being a financial cooperative and helping each other, that is our main aim. So, if this did not help you, feel free at any point in time to email me at news@betcul.com and ask any questions. Lisa, do you have anything else to say to our people out there?
Use your water to make your seed grow. I'm going to stick on it. So, yes. So, as you would have heard in the podcast, it wasn't bashing one against the other. We actually disagreed to agree that both institutions work together. So in small business, you use your banks to make sure your money in a credit union grow. And don't be scared to come to the credit union with $5, as Shanelle would say, or even $10. But make sure you actually have something in the credit union to see the interest grow on it, because in the agreeing with Shanelle, you do have fantastic interest rates in the credit union. But once you want to make sure the current moves a little bit faster, for sure, you go and say, hello, good evening, or hello, good morning, basically, at a banking institution.
Right, but it was fantastic talking to you guys.
Yes,
and sharing this information. And this is actually the end of our first episode. We are totally stoked to bring you the other episodes. I really hope that you'll enjoy this. Feel free to follow BET Cooperative Credit Union on Facebook and Instagram at BET Credit Union. Again, any questions, any comments, any discussions that you would like
to hear,
and for me and Lisa to touch on, you can email me at news@betcul.com, and we are here to please and inform. Signing out.
Take care.